Hey people, this is part 2 of my take on the Superman franchise. In this video, I'm continuing my section on what not to do for the next movie. A lot of fans seem to be interested in seeing Doomsday and the Death of Superman storyline adapted to the next movie. This idea doesn't work for several reasons. For starters, the Death of Superman sucks. Okay, I'll be a little bit more mature about it than that. The Death of Superman really isn't that good of a story. Doomsday shows up and starts wreaking havoc. Some Justice League members try to stop him. He kicks the crap out of them. Superman shows up. They fight. They fight some more. They fight a little bit more and then fight some more. After all this fighting, both of them die. I know there's the whole World Without Superman and Return of Superman story that comes after that, but the basic plot is that Superman appears to die and he comes back to life. So, if this story really isn't that good, why is it so famous? Well, DC made a huge spectacle out of this. People thought that Superman really was going to be gone, so they rushed out and bought what they thought was the final story of this beloved character. This was really just a huge stunt designed to sell comic books. And it worked. It sold a lot and it was all over the news. Imagine this.
Say it ain't so. Superman can't be dead. Okay, it ain't so. Please, DC, you just gotta bring him. Wait, he's not dead? Nah, we were just screwing with you.
In the end, Superman wasn't even really dead. He was just in some kind of regeneration matrix in the Fortress of Solitude. So Superman didn't really die in the Death of Superman. Wasn't that the main selling point? Anyway, another big problem I have with the story is that Doomsday doesn't seem deserving of being the villain that kills Superman. He's really just this big, brutish monster that the writers created solely for the purpose of being the thing powerful enough to kill Superman. I know there's more to the backstory, but basically he's this mindless killing machine that's more of a plot device than a character. I also don't think that the scale of the event was large enough. I guess Doomsday might have continued to cause damage if Superman didn't stop him, but I think it probably would have been better if Superman died defending the Earth from some greater threat, maybe knowingly sacrificing himself in some big dramatic scene with more people present. This video isn't just meant to be a critique of that story though. My opinion of the Death of Superman aside, I really don't think it makes sense to adapt this story into movie format. The plot of the Death of Superman alone is obviously too simple to carry a whole movie, so they probably have to do it from the death all the way through to the return. And the second part of the trilogy is A World Without Superman. One of the major strengths of the Death of Superman story is that it had a big impact on the whole DC universe. Right now in the movies there is no DC universe, so the only thing you could do is have his supporting cast mourning over his loss. Even if you adapted elements from the Reign of the Superman storyline, you don't really want to have a movie where people are forced to watch a bunch of characters they don't really care about for an extended period of time. You can't have a Superman movie without Superman for a major portion. People watch a Superman movie to see Superman. Then there's the return part of the story. Like I said before, the death is probably too simple to deal without having the return. However, if you have a character die and return in the same movie, you're really lessening the effect. Pretty much everyone would probably know that Superman is coming back, but a death needs to be given time to have some impact. You want your audience to actually believe that the character is dead. I'm not opposed to killing off Superman. However, doing it in the first movie of what is hopefully a new franchise isn't the way to go about it. In this scenario, the audience hasn't had any time to grow attached to the actor playing Superman. If you kill him off in the last movie of a trilogy, then you can really make the death have an emotional impact. My ideal Superman movie death would be to have a Superman trilogy and then kill Superman off in a Justice League movie. if you have more than one Justice League movie, I would probably kill him off in the second Justice League movie and bring him back in the third. Now let's say hypothetically they were to go with the Death of Superman story for the next movie. If so, then the plot would have to be seriously overhauled to add some story. I know this sounds contradictory to what I said earlier, but if Superman dies in a movie, he should die at the end. This means you have to take out the World Without Superman story and the Return of Superman story for now. Since in The Death of Superman, he dies at the end of the fight, and there's really not that much that happens before the fight, the plot would have to be altered so that there's a lot going on in the story before the fight, instead of the fight being pretty much the whole thing like it was originally. In this movie, the fight would have to occur in probably like the last 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not sure what the whole plot of the movie would be because the source material really doesn't give that much to go off of. Bottom line, don't do the Death of Superman story for the next movie. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe. And the next video in this series will continue my what not to do section. I'm going to talk about why I think they should not revamp the character of Superman and why they should keep him true to what he's always been. So, tune in next time.